What is up, guys? ELW92 back here with another video, and today I will be bringing you my final tier list of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe tracks. And so, as you all know, there were how many tracks? There were about 48 tracks, and with the DLC, it made it 96. So in this video, I will be ranking all the tracks on how fun I think they are to play. And yeah, so anyways, without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so first off, we'll be starting with Mario Kart Stadium. So, overall, I think this is a pretty fun track, but sometimes it gets a little boring, but there's some cool shortcuts on it, so I'll give this one B tier, because it's not particularly interesting, but if it gets picked online, I'm certainly not going to complain about it. So I'm just going to give it mid tier for that. A little above mid tier actually, but let's see. So next we have Water Park. I used to love this track like 5 years ago, like when I was littler, but now I find it really boring, just a basic track. I despise the underwater physics, so in my opinion, I'm gonna give this a D tier. I just don't think it's fun to play. I think it's incredibly boring, and when it gets picked, I'm just not happy with that. So, Sweet Canyon. This track's alright. I think it's fun to play, but like I think the whole idea, like the concept with all the candy and stuff, I think that's a great concept, and there's a bit of underwater, but that's not too bad. But I'm gonna put this at the top of C tier, like at the very top. So, but it's not as good as Mario Kart Stadium in my opinion. So, let's see. Next, we have Thwomp Ruins. It depends on the day to me, honestly. This is kind of weird, but it just depends on the day. Like, some days, this track is just not fun to play. Like, some days, I feel like this could almost be like an A tier track. But sometimes it's like B tier. So, for that, I think I'm just gonna put it in B tier. Yeah. Because, you know, it's better than Mario Kart Stadium. Oops. Yeah, it's better than Mario Kart Stadium, but there's certainly days where I don't find it fun to play, so. Mario Circuit, it's kind of like Mario Kart Stadium, but it's a little less interesting, so I think it's just a mid track. It's not that interesting to me, but it does its job, so C tier. Toad Harbor, I know a lot of people love this track. I like it. It gets a little boring sometimes, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to place this in B tier. Twisted Mansion. So this might be a little controversial, because I know some people like it, but some people hate it. I don't really know what my stance is on it, because I think it does have like a nice spooky Halloween vibe, but the layout also just like feels boring sometimes. So I'm just gonna place it between Mario Circuit and Toad Harbor. I just think overall it's like a mid track, but it's not that bad. Next up, Shy Guy Falls. A tier, top of A tier. This is a really great track, fun to play. Always has good races with that shortcut. I can do a tutorial on that shortcut video sometime soon, but I just absolutely love this track. The whole idea with the waterfall and stuff, very fun, very fun. Dolphin Shoals. Sorry guys, this is going in F tier. Underwater physics, it just does it for me. That's all I gotta say. Most of the tracks underwater, it's just kind of like green and blue the whole track. Like, I think those are pretty colors, but I don't necessarily like the underwater feel, and I always and like the big like open underwater section, I always end up falling, and it's just not a fun time. So next up, Electrodrome. Now this track, sometimes it's really fun and sometimes it's just boring. Like the whole vibe of it is cool, but I think this, you know what, this is gonna go in top of C tier. Because I don't think it's necessarily a bad track. It's just alright. It's just alright. Mount Wario. I know a lot of people love this. I used to love it, but it's only gonna go in A tier for me. I don't think it's better than Shy Guy Falls. Actually, yeah, it is by a little bit, but it's not quite S tier worthy for me. Cloud Top Cruise. I mean, this track, it's fun, but it doesn't have very many shortcuts, so I'm just gonna give it like a solid B tier. Like it has good races, and the ending cut's fun, so just put it in like mid B tier. Bone Dry Dunes. I actually really enjoy this track. I don't know what it is about it. I know a lot of people don't like the desert tracks, but there's just a nice like vibe to this one. So I'll put this one above, actually no, a little under Cloud Top Cruise. Bowser's Castle, BCMK8. I think this is an A tier track, because it's only one of 2 Bowser's Castles now, and it was the only one for the longest time. And I think they did a good job on it, so just gonna put this a little under Shy Guy Falls. Rainbow Road. Great track, but doesn't really give interesting races to me personally. So I think it's better than Twisted Mansion. Like, I'm not gonna complain if it's picked, but it's just like, it's a good track, but it's just not like the best one in my opinion. Moo Meadows, basic track, but I mean, it's a Wii track, so whoops. It's a Wii track, so I'm just gonna put it in B tier. GBA Mario Circuit. Well, bagging's gone, so this is a pretty boring track, so C tier. Cheap Cheap Beach. I absolutely hate this track. D tier. It's not Dolphin Shoals bad, but I can never win on that track. Doesn't give good races. That does it. Toad's Turnpike. This track, very, very boring. The cars are also annoying. It's not that hard to avoid them, but they're just annoying, and like the track is just overall like super boring. I don't really mess with the vibe, so I'm gonna give this one like D tier, upper D tier. It's better than Water Park, but that's just how it's gonna be. Dry Dry Desert, also another really boring track. They nerfed bagging, so, but it still can lead to some fun races with that ending cut, so I'm gonna put it just under Mario Circuit. Donut Plains, I think this is actually a pretty fun track, but it just like depends, like the items that you have and like the shortcuts that you can take. So I think this one is slightly more interesting than like Mario Circuit, but Sweet Sweet Canyon is still better than it. Royal Raceway, A tier. Very fun track, leads to great races. They're fun grass cuts. I like doing the Shroomless shortcut. Overall, good time. So, A tier for that one. DK Jungle. I think this is a solid top B tier. I think this is a great track, but it's not like A tier good. It's just like, it's just good, in my opinion. Wario Stadium. Can I make a... Okay. I don't really know how to make a new tier. Whatever, it's fine. This is going at absolutely the bottom of F tier. I hate this track. I can never win on it. It's impossible to catch up. I could go on for hours about how much I hate this track. The underwater at the end, the way that like the items are placed, it's just terrible. I just hate that track. It's awful. Sherbetland, this is a fun track, but it's a little basic. But I mess with the snowy vibe, so I'll give it better than Moo Moo Meadows, but I don't think it's Toad Harbor good. Music Park, another kind of mid track, but it's a cool vibe, so it leads to semi-interesting races, has a fun ending cut. But I think I'm gonna put this one above Sherbetland, yeah. Yoshi Valley, this one gets picked so often, but it's a good track. I think this is a really fun track. I'm gonna put this one also I'm gonna put this one bottom A tier. I think it's a very fun track. It just gets picked too much, so that's why it's not at like S tier or something. TikTok Clock, kind of a mid track in my opinion. Like, I'm not really particularly excited when it gets picked, but like it's okay, so I'm just gonna place it in like mid C tier. Piranha Plant Slide, I used to think the track was cool. I mean, I still think it's cool, but not fun to race on. Just hate the physics of it. Bottom D tier. Grumble Volcano, they took out the shortcuts from the Wii, but I still think the layout's overall fun to play. So I'm gonna give it, I'm gonna put it better than, I think it's more fun than Mario Stadium. So I'm gonna place it right there. Rainbow Road, oh boy, I don't really like this track. Maybe it's because I suck at it, but honestly, this is like C tier material right here. I'm not a fan of the catching up on that. Yoshi Circuit, S tier. Amazing track, shaped like a Yoshi. What else can you ask for? It's fun to play. You can even do the shortcut Shroomless on 150cc, and yeah. Okay, this might be the most controversial of all of them, but Excite Bike Arena. So this track, a lot of people hate it because it's basic, and I understand that. And a lot of people like it too, because it's simple, and I also understand that. But in my opinion, I'm just kind of the middle ground type guy. Like, I think, like, I don't rage when it gets picked, but like, it's just not like that interesting. But it's better than Rainbow Road for sure, because this Rainbow Road is just not interesting to me, so sorry about that. Dragon Driftway, S tier. Gotta love the gap cut, love the theme, the dragon. Very fun to me, so S tier. Mute City, I'm gonna put it A tier. I think it's right there. I think it's a great track, but it does have its flaws, so. And the layout's a bit basic when you think of it, but it's still fun to play. Warriors Goldmine, another Wii track. I think this version's okay. I'll give it like top B tier, because I think it's pretty fun. How do I do this? There you go. SNES Rainbow Road. This might upset you guys. This one gets picked a lot online. Like it gets overpicked. Like I'm like playing and then this track gets selected, and then all of a sudden, I'm playing like another race, and all of a sudden, after another race, like it just gets picked like twice in only like 3 races, and it's kind of ridiculous. But despite the basic layout, I think it's decently fun. So put it like above Sherbetland. Ice Outpost. Oof. I know a lot of you guys hate this track, but I personally find it kind of fun sometimes, but it's definitely boring, so it's definitely boring at some points, so there isn't really like much ice on it. It's just kind of like paths going through like water. So maybe a bit better than Toad's Harbor. Hyrule Circuit. I think this is an S tier track. Alright, so Hyrule Circuit, I'm gonna give this one, it's gotta be S tier. I mean, this track's just very fun to play. It has a lot of vibrant colors. I like the castle theme, and I mean, I've never played Legend of Zelda, but I still think like the way how you can like activate like the secret platform to go through like the center and like hit the sword, like the Master Sword, I think that's incredible. I think that's very creative, and I love it. Baby Park, this track's very chaotic. Sometimes I absolutely hate it, but sometimes you can just get a very fun time out of it. So I'm gonna give this one, it's like, it's about here, yeah. Sunshine Airport, D tier. I know I probably offended just about everyone on that, but I don't like the track. I think that it's the overall layout, it's kind of fun to play, but I absolutely hate it how like the music just like gets loud. I find the music annoying. I just find that like how like it just gets loud. It like, and I know you guys are probably just like, oh, just turn off the music. Well, I need to like hear like the items and stuff, and like I can't hear that on Sunshine Airport, and like it's just like the flying part is just like weird. I mean, I'll give it C tier. I think it's better than Dry Desert, but maybe not quite D tier. Maybe I over exaggerated, but still, I'm not a big fan of it. Cheeseland, bagging got nerfed, so I think that it's a better track now. But I mean, bagging on it was kind of fun, but I'm gonna give this one B tier. It's fun to play, but it gets a little old after a while. Wild Woods, it's kind of like Mario Circuit. Like, it's an easy track, but like it's fun. So I'm just gonna give this like better than Yoshi Valley, because like it doesn't get picked as much as Yoshi Valley, but it's still picked a decent amount, so I like that. Animal Crossing, depends on the season, to be honest. Winter's my favorite. I just love the vibe of it, but I'm gonna give this one, I'm gonna give it A tier, yeah. Neo Bowser, this is an excellent track. Oops, didn't want to do that. This is an excellent track. I think it's about A tier. I'm gonna put it at top of A tier for now. I might change my thoughts later, but it's an excellent track. IMO. Ribbon Road, another great track. Solid A tier. Not better than Shy Guy Falls, but better than Mute City, so it's gonna go right there. Super Bell Subway, another A tier track, just really fun to play. Just love racing through the subway. It's a very creative idea. I love it. So A tier it is. A little above Yoshi Valley, yep. Big Blue, best track of all time. No argument. SS tier. This track is insane. I just love doing the cuts. I always get first place on it. I would time trial it, do the fire hopping on Mario Kart at Wii U. It was just an amazing time. Next up, the DLC Booster Course Pass tracks. So, Paris Promenade. When this first came out, I was like, oh cool, it's Paris, but after a while of playing it, and obviously the graphics are worse, but I'm not going to be rating these on like graphics. I mean, maybe some of them, like Toad Circuit, but I think Paris Promenade is like a C tier track. I don't find it very interesting, but I think it's more fun than Electrodrome, so just gonna go right there. Toad Circuit, very, very boring track. So just because of how boring it is, it's just gonna go in F tier. But it's not like Wario Stadium. It's not like bad. Like it's bad, but like it's not like the worst it can be. But like it's like very boring, so it's hella boring. So I'm just gonna put it there. Choco Mountain. This is an okay track, but the colors just kind of like blend and it gets boring after a while. So for that, I'm gonna put this in like C tier. Coconut Mall. I think it's an A tier track. It's not the most interesting, but I think it's an A tier track, so I'm just gonna put it up there. Tokyo Blur. I was really disappointed with this one. I mean, it's a city in Japan. It's the capital of Japan, and that's where Nintendo comes from. You think they would try to impress us with their own city, but just the graphics and like the layout's just overall very boring. So I'm gonna give this one like bottom C tier. I'm not a fan of it. Shroom Ridge. I think this is a good track. I preferred the custom track variant in Mario Kart Wii, but I'm not gonna be mad if it gets picked, so I'm just gonna put it like mid B tier. Sky Garden, kind of a boring track. It doesn't really excite me, so I'm gonna put it like under Excite Bike. Ninja Hideaway. This one's SS tier too. Gotta love it. Gotta love this track. It's not better than Big Blue, but it's almost there. New York Minute. Another city track. It's kind of boringish, but I mean, I've been to New York and it feels pretty accurate, so I'm gonna give it like mid B tier, I suppose. Mario Circuit 3. I'd love to see the tracks that were in Mario Kart Wii come back, and a lot of people hate it, but I'm just gonna give this bottom A tier. I just think the turns, like the drifting and like the sand cuts that you can do are just very fun overall. So bottom A tier. Calamari Desert track. This one I get boring of it. I don't know why, but it's just not really my cup of tea. So I'm gonna put it like bottom B tier, but I love doing the shortcut at the end, so it's not that bad. Next up, DS Waluigi Pinball. I was very hyped for this one at first, but it's sort of like, it's just hit me that this track is like only fun on 200cc due to how long it is. Like, it's like 3 minutes just for this one track, so it just gets a bit boring. But I'm gonna put it at like, there aren't really any shortcuts, so I'm just gonna put it like bottom B tier, just because it's like Waluigi Pinball and I think it's good. Like, if it wasn't like Waluigi Pinball and if it was like another track at that difficulty, it'd probably be like D tier or something. But Sydney Sprint, I think it's a cool track, but I'm just really bad at it, so maybe that makes me want to put it low on here. But I'm gonna put it like C tier, top of C tier. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I think it's cool though. So, yep. Snowland, I think this is an excellent track. It has the big shortcut where you can just do like that gap cut. I think it's pretty fun. So, and the snow vibe's cool. GBA, Nintendo does an excellent job with the GBA courses, so that's gonna go in A tier. Mushroom Gorge, this is S tier. I mean, you just can't beat it. I mean, the gap jump is just back, and it's crazy. I'm gonna give this, I'm gonna put Hyrule top of S tier. Like that. There we go. Sky High Sunday. This is almost Dolphin Shoals bad. I don't like it at all. It's pretty boring. I hate the physics of it, and it's just kind of boring to me, honestly. I'm just not the biggest fan of it, so it's just like when it gets picked, I'm just dreading the race. Like I'm not like spamming this track. Like I'm not voting for it. Rock Mountain, the graphics are terrible, but I remember I'd always see it. I'd be like, man, that Alpine Pass or Alpine Peak track, I was like, dang, that track looks epic. But after playing it, it's just kind of boring. But I mean, I guess the shortcut's cool, so I'll give it bottom B tier. It's better than Moo Meadows. It's better than Sugarland, actually. I'm gonna put it there. Merry Mountain. It's a very boring track, but it hits during Christmas time. So I'm gonna give this like upper B tier. I mean, I really like the creativity with it. I'm just gonna give it upper B tier for now. London Loop. This track gets picked way too much. I mean, it just kills me how much this track is picked. It's so annoying. I just can't. It's better than Tokyo Blur, I'll say that, but it just gets picked too much. And London's not the most interesting city to me, personally. Like, not like in general, like, just like for Mario Kart, it's not like that interesting, I feel like. Boo Lake, oops. I'll put this bottom S tier. This track, I like the Halloween vibe, the spooky vibe. I love doing the shortcut at the end, love the slippery texture of it, and the graphics don't look that bad. I think it's a fun track, so bottom S tier. Maple Treeway's back in Mario Kart 8. I think they did a decent job, but the colors are a little bright, but I'm gonna put it, it's a little better than Coconut Mall, so I'll put it there. But yeah, I'm a big Mario Kart Wii fan, so most of the Wii tracks are gonna be B tier above, so. Berlin Byways, this track also gets picked a lot, but I think that this track's pretty fun, so I'll give it like a mid B tier. Peach Gardens, another track that was on the Wii. It's from the DS originally. I don't think this track's particularly good, but I think that's good enough to be like a solid B tier. No, it's better than New York for sure. Okay. Okay. 3DS Rainbow Road. This one's gonna go in... It's only going in S tier. I would put it in SS tier, but it's only going in S tier because I'm very bad at it, and I just can't seem to get the stuff right, so I guess that's just a me issue, but I suppose if I was better at it, it might be higher up, but I absolutely love that track. It's for sure up there. Amsterdam Drift. So I used to not like this when it first came out, but in the past week of playing, I have actually honestly really enjoyed this track. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put this track in like upper B tier. Like, I think that this track is actually like not bad. Like, I think it's pretty fun, but yeah. Riverside Park. Besides the trees, the graphics are absolutely amazing for the Booster Course Pass. So I'm gonna put this one. I'm gonna put it right there. I think it's a great track. Let's see here. DK Summit. I mean, Gap Jump is back, in fact. So I think it's slightly better than Mushroom Gorge. Actually, no, Mushroom Gorge is better than it, just because like I'm not a fan of like how DK Summit like feels all squished and stuff. So, yep. Yoshi's Island. This is a new great track. I find it very fun to play. So I'm just gonna give this track bottom A tier. Yep. Bangkok Rush, another great city track. I think that this deserves like, honestly, this could almost even be like A tier. I think, yeah. I'm just gonna put it there for now. DS Mario Circuit. I feel like nobody really asked for this track, honestly. But it's solid. So, but I don't find it very interesting. So I'm just gonna put it top C tier. Waluigi Stadium. This is a great Wii track. It plays okay in 8 Deluxe, so I'll just give it upper B tier for that. Singapore Speedway. I think this is a great tour track, but I don't know. I'm gonna just settle in with, I think another bottom A tier. I'm just gonna kind of put these in the bottom A tier, and then they'll just kind of sort out. I mean, like, these aren't in particular order, but like I'm more so just doing it by section. Like, that doesn't mean like this whole section here is like bottom A tier, but like that could be the top of A tier. It just kind of depends on the day that I'm feeling. Vancouver. This track is kind of picked a lot, in my opinion, but it's very fun, so I'm gonna put it top, like middle, top A. Athens Dash, in my opinion, this was probably like the best track of Wave 5. Wave 5 was not that great in my opinion, but I'm gonna give this, honestly, it's an S tier track. This track's very fun. Actually, you know, A tier. A tier. I think it's better than Maple Tree Way, I feel like. Maybe not. You know what? I'm kind of changing my thoughts. Yeah, maybe a bit better than Vancouver, just because Vancouver gets picked a lot. Yeah, never mind. Not quite S tier, but it's pretty good though still. Daisy Cruiser. I find this track kind of boring, honestly. So, but like, yeah, I'm just gonna put this like mid C tier. It's not very interesting to me. Sorry to y'all Double Dash fans, but it's kind of mid to me. Moonview Highway, it got so nerfed. It's like, whoops. It's just like the Quarantine Highway. It's just, they didn't do a great job with the remake, so I'm gonna put it about like Daisy Cruiser. It's like, it's a hair better. It's better than Sky Garden, but I still like think that these would be more interesting than to play. Squeaky Clean Sprint. It's a cool idea, but overall the track just feels kind of mid. But it's a decent track. It's a little better than mid, so I'm just gonna put it in B tier. Los Angeles. I get a little bored of this track sometimes. So this is honestly like, it's like a C tier track to me. Like, I mean, there are some cool parts of it, but it's not that interesting to me. Sunset Wilds, they got rid of the sunset. I couldn't believe they did that. It's cool, so I'm like pretty annoyed that they did that. So I'm just gonna have to put that in like C tier. It's pretty boring. It's not very interesting. So Cuba Cape, they nerfed it so bad. This track is like not even fun anymore. But I mean, I'd rather play it than like Tokyo and London, but still, it's not that very fun. Like, I think I'd even rather play like these more instead. Madrid Drive, I haven't even played it that much, but for the most part, it feels good. So I'm just gonna give it a solid B tier. Not much to say. Rosalina's Ice World. You can still kind of do the gap cut at the beginning. I mean, that doesn't really save anything, but I think that it's a cool idea. So I would play it a lot in the custom tracks of Mario Kart Wii. So I'm just gonna give this one. I think this one, honestly, it's an A tier track in my opinion. I think it's top A tier. Bowser Castle 3, S tier. This track, I was waiting for another Bowser's Castle. Finally came. Super hype about it, so there we are. Rainbow Road. You know what? This is S tier. All day long. All day long. All freaking day long. This is not S tier. This is S tier. I mean, you just can't beat it. Besides Big Blue. Big Blue, these are about even. Big Blue just barely, and then Ninja Hideaway shortly behind. Roma Avanti, I think this is a very cool track. It's fun. It's about an A tier track. There aren't many shortcuts, but I like the simplicity of it, and it takes place at nighttime. and it just like makes me want to go and visit Italy. It's just amazing. DK Mountain, easy S tier track, easy S tier. This track is like amazing. This track is fun. Gap cut's back. Literally, you can't beat it. All three of the gap cut tracks right here, you know it's a good track when they got a gap cut. Wee Daisy Circuit. Nobody asked for this track. Nobody actually asked for this track, but it's a Wii track, so I think it's better than Paris, but I think City's still better than it. And then Piranha Plant Cove. Honestly, this is an A tier track. Like, I hate underwater physics, but it just barely makes the cut for bottom A tier just because of how fun the layout is. And yeah. So this is my tier list. So we have Big Blue, Rainbow Road, Ninja Hideaway, and SS tier. I mean, you just can't beat these three. They're amazing tracks. Very well done, Nintendo. Hyrule Circuit, these are close behind Ninja Hideaway. These are all about the same to me. I mean, these right here could almost be SS tier. I mean, it's crazy. Like, if I were to pick, like, if there were, like, 10 tracks I had to pick, and I couldn't have anything else, I would pick, like, all of these right here. I mean, they're just insanely fun to play. Neo Bowser City, Mount Wario Shy FOs. These are the tops of A tier, with a close second with Maple Tree Way. I mean, all these tracks in general, I won't complain if these are picked. Certainly won't complain for these. I'll be the ones picking these, and I'll occasionally pick these too. But I mean, if one of these is an option, I'm obviously picking that over one of these. So, yeah. Waluigi Pinball. I probably upset a lot of you guys, but it's very long and it just gets kind of old and boring sometimes. So, C tier. Here's what I have for C tier. Overall, I think DS Mario Circuit's the best C tier track. Tokyo Blur is just, it's not quite D tier, but it's just pretty boring. So, Toad's Turnpike, trash track. It's literally like hot garbage. Same with Piranha Plant Slide. Wario Stadium. I can't even give an explanation of this track. I mean, it's crazy how much I dislike it. It's just, I hate it. But yeah, this is my MK Deluxe final track tier list, DLC included. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.